Hey guys, how are we? Well, beautiful evening here in Thailand. The weather here is just absolutely beautiful. Like this time of day is, it's just perfect. Low wind, good temperature. At this point, no mosquitoes. Give it time though. In saying that, they fumigated our apartment or condo complex last week. In the following 2 or 3 days, I've never seen so many mosquitoes in all my life, so I don't know how all that works. But caught up with Nick yesterday and had a beer and thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. And we were talking about how to handle or how to really cope with what's coming up ahead, because I think things are going to get really difficult. It's not going to be easy at all, and I think for a lot of people they're going to struggle greatly with a sense of loss and just a great sense of turmoil. And you can see that in the world around us at the moment. There's a lot of uncertainty. And that uncertainty is just going to continue to grow as the weeks and the months continue by. And, how do you actually cope with that? How do you actually psychologically come to terms with that sense of loss? Because there's going to be a real it's going to be a way of life that's going to change. A real, you might live in a beautiful luxury house and have a great job and, have the perfect life, so to speak, and you can afford some of the nicer things in life at this point in time. May not be like that in 12, 18 months, 2 years' time. Life might be completely different. And, it's one of the things, like, my wife and I are very devout Christians, and that's neither here nor there for you. But, my wife also comes from a country that has a very strong Buddhist background. And, some of the wisdom in some of their ideas, particularly around holding things lightly. And I think that's really important for a lot of people. And it's going to have to be something that people learn. It's certainly for us in the West, we're taught from an early age to be very aggressive, to just get out there and achieve and conquer and just make it happen. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's all about, being successful in life, isn't it? That's all about having a life that is successful and fruitful and you have nice things because you work hard, study hard and, put the extra hours in. But I think one of the aspects that I learned, particularly doing a lot of work overseas and working with people in different countries and that sort of stuff, people do not all look at life the same as the way that we look at it in the West. I'll never forget speaking to young guys in Vanuatu. They call them Nivatus. So I was working, I did some stuff with the government over there and I spoke to a young guy and just said, so what do you want to do when you leave school? Because he was on the verge of leaving school at that point in time. And have a look at these guys in the background here, just sitting on this pier, just fishing. But I sort of said to this young guy, what do you want to do when you leave school? Because he was only weeks away from leaving school. And he goes, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, when you leave school, what do you intend to do? And he goes, oh, well, I'll work on the farm and plant some stuff. And when I want to get married, I'll ask the chief for a block of land and I'll I'll build a little house and I'll find someone to marry. And that was his life's ambition. And I was absolutely horrified because I thought, what the hell is that? So I just thought, well, there's a real lack of drive, right? But actually there's a lot of wisdom in that. And, you know, it's one of those things, I was saying this to Nick last night, and imagine holding things in your hand. So you're holding something in your hand. Us in the West, we like to grasp it. This is mine. This is all mine. This money is mine. Or this house is mine. This spouse is mine. And life just doesn't work like that. It's just not the way that God made the universe. Things are meant to be held loosely. God can put something in your hand. He can put money in your hand. He can put a spouse in your hand, a house, anything he wants. You think that it's all you, but it's actually not. So the real key is actually holding things lightly. And that's going to be really key for a lot of people during this era. I mean, I know personally, there's damn flies. Things are perfect here in Thailand. If it's not bloody mosquitoes, it's flies. But let me get back to the point. When you grasp onto things in life so tightly, you find that life has a way of prying your fingers off the object. And so, for example, with a spouse, if you want to hold on to that spouse and be jealous and make their life a living hell because you want to accuse them of everything under the sun and you want to control every aspect of their life, or even a kid. I've seen parents do that to their children. Life has a funny way of prying that out of your hands. And we come into the world with nothing and we'll go out of the world with nothing. And really, at the end of the day, the key is actually realizing that and saying, hey, look, if this is in my hand today, praise God, I'll give thanks. If it's in my hand tomorrow, I will praise God and give thanks. If it's out of my hand tomorrow, if it's gone, I'll praise God and give thanks. I'll have gratitude. And I think that's what a lot of people are going to have to learn in the next little while, is because there's going to be a lot of loss. Loss of life, loss of friendships, loss of marriages, loss of businesses. There's going to be, and that always happens through times of great turmoil and change. And you want to just realize that at this point in time, that is a normal human condition. What's not normal is to have a sense where you need to hold on to everything and grasp onto it and not let go. Because if you continue to hold on to things and try and really just let God or the universe, whatever your opinion is, sort of wring that out of your hand with force, then it's more traumatic. But if you're quite happy to sit there and relinquish things graciously and say, well, I thank God for that period of time that I had that person or that thing in my life, and obviously there's something better up ahead for me, then you're going to face life a lot better than if you really struggle to let go of stuff. Because as I said, we're heading in for a time of great loss, of great sorrow. And I don't want to be a real downer about things, but I want to give you a bit of wisdom. Hey, think about this now and learn this skill, the art of letting go, the art of loss. Because if you really try to hold on to things the same way that we do in the West, we in the West refuse to relinquish. We, by almost a sheer force of will, we try and render everything subject to us. And it just life and the universe, they're not designed like that. It doesn't work like that. The sooner you realize that, the happier you're going to be. So just keep that in mind. So you want to hold things lightly. You want to hold things very lightly. Just keep an open palm. God put a spouse in your hand. Hey, he can give and take away. He put a child in your hand. He give and take away. He put a house and a nice car and a nice job and career in your hand. He's given it to you, and he can take it away just as fast. And you may not want to hear that, but that is life. I mean, I've had great businesses, great stuff, and had nothing. And I've been through that process once or twice, so I know it quite well. The sooner you learn to relinquish control over people and things, the happier you're going to be. You're going to find that as being a weight off your shoulders. So just wanted to share that with you. Not even sure how that fits in with the Overseas Exile channel. And there's some really good stuff that I've got on the back burner that I'm developing at the moment. So stay tuned for that. It's completely different, and it's going to be how you can actually travel well, like stuff like how do you keep your mobile phone number? You head off overseas. I mean, I lost a really great mobile number a couple of years back. I had a friend who owned OneTel back in the early 2000s, and I got like a gold level number, and I'm talking mint number. This thing was worth a lot of money. I went overseas and Telstra stole it from me. So how do you keep numbers when you're overseas? And how do you decompartmentalize your mobile numbers and your online identity? Because a lot of the times now they're wanting to take your mobile number as a way to sort of verify who you are. So just keep that in mind. I've got some really good video on how to get around that. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, guys, if you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel and you enjoy it, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and then the bell notification with all, so you get all notifications. And check out the other videos. So there's a whole pile of other videos. I think there's 137 videos or something at the moment. And I know this video was a little bit off kilter for what I normally do, but hey, I had a discussion with Nick last night, and he said, I'd love it if you shared that with people. And I thought, I'll give it a shot and see what the response is. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll chat with you soon.